Hey there, all you wonderful people. Welcome to the video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what to do when even talking about DPDR triggers it. And perhaps you're even too afraid to talk about it for fear that it's actually going to get worse. And this can be a bit of a hindrance as well, because you might be thinking, well, obviously, to recover from DPDR, I've got to talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it. So how am I actually going to recover? So in this video, I'm going to give you some insight about that and perhaps why your thinking around it isn't actually 100% true. So it is a bit of a common misconception that to be able to recover from DPDR, you actually need to be able to talk about it all the time. And to be quite frank, that couldn't be further from the truth, at least from my experience with helping people. When I am helping people, it's actually very rare that we'll just constantly talk about the symptoms the whole time, because I don't sort of go down the whole thing of trying to fix the symptoms. We look at fixing the core issues which are causing the symptoms, and the core issues are usually something to do with what you're thinking about. To give you an example, a conversation I had recently with one of my clients about this is they were saying things like, Dan, I just don't know what to do. My thoughts seem to sort of race. I don't know which direction to take them. Like, how can I deal with these sort of intrusive thoughts? And, you might sort of think, well, the answer is, to think about answering those intrusive questions. But actually what happens is once you go down a few layers, what we actually discovered was that this person, they didn't have a problem with not knowing what to do for the future, or they didn't necessarily have a problem with being sort of so overwhelmed right now. When we dove a little deeper, what we actually found out was that the problem was they felt that they had a big lack of control in their life. So you can see the symptom of having these intrusive thoughts, but once you get under the hood and start to dig a little bit deeper, then you actually realize, well, hey, the problem you're having isn't actually intrusive thoughts. The problem you're having right now is that you are unable, or you feel like you have no control over anything. And that's actually what it was. So what was really great about that is once we'd figured out that, oh, this person feels like, you have no control over anything. Well, let's look at that. Is that actually true? What do you actually have control of in your life? Why do you feel like you have no control over anything? What does control look like to you? What does control mean to you? What areas of control do you have life? How can you get more control? And all this type of stuff. And so once you start to figure out that, oh, well, actually, I do have control and I can do this and I can do this, then the way that the mind's dealing with that, which is having the intrusive thoughts of what do I do? And my mind's racing and I don't know what to do. That sort of goes because you've realized that the deeper issue is not actually about that at all. It's about having control. So once you can start to get control, then your mind doesn't need to have those racing thoughts anymore, because it is getting the control that it needs once you've identified whatever it is that you do need to do. So this is really what I mean about, you don't specifically have to talk about the DPDR in order to get better from it. Sure, initially you might have to talk about it a little bit, but that's just the starting point. That's the very first step. And quickly you take 2 or 3 steps, you go down a few layers, and you're actually able to get to the real issue of what's happening here. So really consider that it is actually possible to overcome this without even really talking about it at all. And look, I mean, to be honest, if I was in having sessions and all we were talking about was just the symptoms all the time, and specifically what they mean and all that type of stuff, then you probably wouldn't really get anywhere, because that's all surface level stuff. And you've really got to start to sort of look at it in a little bit more detail, a little bit more in depth, to understand what's really happening here. So my friends, I hope that's a little bit of reassurance for you, and perhaps it's given you, a new sense of hope that, if you have been sort of keeping yourself stuck from moving forward, this might sort of lift you out of that and give you the ability to move forward. And until next time, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.